Hello YouTube, it is Alyssa and I am back with another video. And as you can tell by the title, I wanted to do a book review. I haven't done one in so long because I haven't read a book in a little minute, but I got through this recently and I want to talk about it because I feel like this book is very useful. So let's get into it. So it's Rich AF by our Rich BFF, our TikTok sensation, Vivian Tu. And yeah, so I guess overall I very much enjoyed the book. I like the tone. I like how it was written like she was literally right in front of me talking to me. But at some points it was kind of like, I wouldn't say hard to follow, but it was like weird to follow some of the sentences because she was like speaking like she was right in front of me. But I also appreciated that for my young Gen Z brain. But I feel like this is filled with amazing information. Nothing necessarily new, but it's broken down more in a way that's more palatable for everyday people, for young people like me. And it's a really great way of her kind of just like repackaging the message of wealth. And it has, well, let me go back a bit because there are some things in here that I think are really awesome that are kind of at least new to me. So to give some background on the author, so she used to work at the New York stock market. And she worked her way up and she kind of got into these spaces where I'm finding myself within the past few years. I found myself within these spaces where, you know, people are like a lot more wealthy than me and I busted my ass to get into the same room as them. And there's kind of just like this disconnect, and there's definitely a certain attitude and a certain mindset that come from these people. And like, you guys already know how I feel about money and greed and morality, but that doesn't mean like money isn't important and like saving up isn't important and stuff like that. And that also doesn't mean that people who have wealth are just off the bat horrible people, right? So she kind of went down the route of really like observing these people and asking them questions and learning from their weird habits. Not necessarily weird, but just things that everyday normal like people just wouldn't think of or you know, just wouldn't put into practice. So I think this book is really great. It literally goes into everything, you know, budgeting, retiring, the wealth mindset, which is really just like financial literacy and like passing down, you know, that kind of education. And the one thing that I feel like I appreciate the most in this book is the fact that like she really addresses, it's like, come on guys, do you really think the rich and wealthy aren't helping each other out? And do you think they're not helping each other out for free? But it's so hard for just me and you to help each other out because individualism and consumerism. But overall I would definitely give the book like a 9 out of 10. I actually wish there were kind of more detail, and I wish she got into like more crazy things that we've never heard of, but maybe this is really like all that she's got and like her extent. Either way, I absolutely appreciate this book. I love this book. I have my little tags in. I've written my notes. I got a new commonplace journal. Oop, sorry. And I've transferred my knowledge and I'm starting to seriously put practice in with my finances, because now I've gotten myself to a really good place of like stability with my savings and my investments and property. So right now I'm at a point where it's like I'm at a point where I'm trying to compound. So I feel like this book was just, it was one, a good reminder, two, a good like place for guidance. It's definitely a book you can go back to over and over again. Sorry, my battery's about to die. So yes, 9 out of 10. Yeah, it has a pretty cover. Very knowledgeable woman. Yeah, and I feel like I also really like how this is like a very like practical approach, because I feel like the spiritual girlies have taken the word like money mindset and ruined it for me for a bit. So this really got me back into it. And again, really practical things you can do. She gives multiple options. You know, she kind of lets you know like, hey, this would work for you if you're at this stage with your financial literacy and practice. You know, this would work if you're at that stage, if you're just starting out. Yeah, and kind of just also like, I'm not necessarily feeling more comfortable being cash poor, but kind of like, oh, okay, like even the rich are cash poor. And even though it's like super obvious to us, and like, you know, Forbes and whoever will pull up documents, be like, okay, they have this property, but they're cash poor. You know, it's like, it's a good reminder that at some point everyone's cash poor, and that doesn't necessarily mean you don't got it like that, but it's something that does happen. And there's a lot of great ways in here to prevent that. So yeah, definitely give it a read. Maybe I'll try to put like an Amazon link or something in the description. That's where I got this from. Wait, no, that's not true. I got this from Barnes and Noble. But either way, you can get it almost anywhere, and I highly recommend. Bye.